And good morning. It is 27 minutes after 9 o'clock. Joining us in studio this morning from CMG Financial, Eliot Rodriguez back with us. Morning, sir.
Good morning, Roswell.
Happy Friday to you. How's everything going?
It's going good. We're still busy. And things have not slowed down. Things still going like bananas.
The real estate market is still, houses are going up for sale, and they're selling as fast as they're going up.
I actually feel a little bad for the real estate agents because, I know they're scrambling, trying to do the best they can, So
sure. That's right. Don't feel too bad. They get nice paychecks after that. Those commission
I guess
checks.
that's true. They do make more money than I do. So.
When the housing market starts slowing down, those guys are all going to be on vacation while we're still working because they've been making money hand over fist.
I don't, mine doesn't never going to finish. That's just the reality.
This is true, too.
Because people still buying houses. When the market is good or bad, it doesn't matter because you have to get a place to go to live.
Yeah.
People have to refinance to try to get a better situation or trying to accomplish something, fix a house, a wedding, extra money for whatever,
Sure.
So you name it. There's so many different situations.
Well, and that's just it. Housing, yes, there's always ebbs and flows on supply and demand. That's always going to be a case. And obviously because of COVID and everything, the demand has been way higher than the supply right now, which is seeing the reason why you're seeing houses go so quick and go for the prices they're going for and all the things that are happening. But that will correct itself and at some point. And also, it's the one thing we all need. We all need a place to live. We all need. I'm sorry. It's
the reality.
To be a human being, you need to eat, you need to drink, you got to have shelter, you got to breathe. These are just, and you got to go to the bathroom. These are the things we got to do. Like it, love it, hate it, regardless. You got to do it.
And that's just in that order.
In that order, yeah. And so demand's always, what I mean is it's always going to be, so when you talk about when's right time, when's wrong time, when the right time is when your family's ready to do it. That's the outside world, you can look at some of those variables, but unless you're doing this for investment purposes, you buy the house when you're ready to buy the house. That's kind of how it works, And,
you always asked me in the past, when is the right time to buy a house?
Yeah.
It's when you're ready, when you want to now.
Sure.
So,
now, obviously, if you're looking to maybe get into a flipping house situation or
that's a little different.
Then you're going to play the numbers a little bit different because that's the difference between success and failure in that game.
Correct.
You buy the house cheap, you sell the house more expensive, you make money. If you buy houses too expensive and can't get your money back, guess what? You're not flipping houses very long.
You're just being a good. You're being a good shepherd to the community.
Exactly the case.
That's just the crazy. I just saw a post, one of the real estate agents in Clovis, I think it was, Clovis, and he said like buy a lower, fix it up, put some money into, put some elbow grease and fix it up the proper way, push the price up.
Yeah.
And that's the way it's supposed to be.
It's very much true.
That's true.
Now, granted, if you have zero home improvement experience, get some help there before you start tackling those. Because, yes, home improvement projects also increase the value of the house unless you do a bad home improvement project.
Yep.
And then you detract the value of the house. If you decided to make that room with some kind of materials that were popular in 1962, or there ain't a straight edge anywhere in that drywall work or whatever you did, no one's going to buy that either.
That's true.
They don't want to buy your Jerry Rig situation.
And remember, you buy a place for investment purposes. You better do your homework real good. You may open a can of worms that you don't even want to get into.
Sure. And that's just it. Yeah.
That's another thing.
Do your homework if you're entering that business because, especially when you're renovating and remodeling, it's a lot more than you going to the Home Depot and buying lumber or paint and going to it. Depending on your projects, depending on what you're doing, you might have to get them permitted. And if you don't, and you start doing things and they find out, guess what? Your day just got very expensive.
It's like you get this place and you're just like, you know what?
Yeah.
I can take that wall off and make this bigger and do this and this and that. You take that wall off and you just find out, hey, you should have never took that wall off.
Yeah, how many times you find that out? Yeah.
And that happens.
Sure.
That happens.
But that's so unless you're equipped to handle that, maybe you want to do some more research before you get in the flipping game. But as a homeowner, if you're wanting to do that, you might want to start learning some of that. But you learn that on the fly, too. I ain't going to lie.
True. We all learn as we go.
Yeah. Once that washer breaks for the first time or that sink or that toilet, something happens. That's part of home ownership. That's part of the deal.
I remember buying my first home.
Yeah.
And it's a feeling that you never forget.
Yeah.
And I love what I do because I feel like I do it every month. Sure, I like do it every week. So,
Yeah.
So it's really cool. I love it. And I love helping people buy houses. Because I guess the feeling of buying my own house never goes
that
away.
Same feeling, yeah.
Yeah, it's pretty cool, and I love doing that. So if you're looking for somebody that take care of you,
Yeah.
all right. I mean, and the way I say it like this, okay, and you and I talked about this before. It's like
Sure.
sometimes like, yeah, you need to, you need to market yourself. The reality is this. I can say it like this. I don't think there's anybody like I am out there. That's just the reality. I truly believe that everybody deserves a home. If you can buy a home,
Sure,
you deserve to get a home.
Yeah.
Okay. It's the American dream. It's the American way. If you can buy a house, buy yourself a home. You're still renting. You're still living somewhere. So why not have your little piece of land for yourself? You know what I mean?
And to me, that's like you said, it's your piece. It's like, I mean, I bought my first home. My wife and I was early 30s, maybe. I don't remember the time. I'm bad at that count. But for our first 4 or 5 years of the marriage, we didn't own a home. We rented, and we were in an apartment, and then I rented a home, and then we bought a home. The lessons learned from that. I mean, I'm glad I went through it and things, but when you buy, but the moment you bought that first home, and I'm telling you, like, I was married and living the adult life, quote unquote, for a few years before I bought a house.
Correct.
But the moment the house was ours, and we bought it, and it's like, I can kick that wall if I want, and there's no landlord going to hit me, or you know what I mean. I didn't do that, but just the thought that
you can,
yeah,
you can.
I was like, I get it. Now I'm part, and to be honest, I felt like I was now a part of the part of the society. And what I mean by that, it's not like I felt like an outcast.
I like the way you say it. Go ahead.
But I felt like now I'm invested into I'm a homeowner. I'm a taxpayer. I'm I'm invested into
yours.
this. Yes, it's my piece of land. It's my property. It's mine and my wife. My wife too. She's a part of this. But you know what I mean. It's ours. It's not.
You mean it's hers, right?
Right.
But yeah.
Well, let's just say I've got the one who had the VA connection. So, yeah, what's up? But anyway.
No, but yeah. No, I 100% understand what you're saying. I mean, and it's
different than renting.
It's a great feeling that this is your place.
Yeah.
Okay. If you lose it, something happens to it, it's 100% on you.
Yeah.
Okay. You're not gonna have somebody come from somewhere telling you cannot do that. Don't hammer some nails in the wall, this and that. Give you some kind of restrictions that you cannot live by.
Right.
And you do the best you can through all those restrictions and so on. I know a lot of people don't listen to those restrictions, but again, that's what they end up not having in place afterwards.
Well, you've got to be disciplined. You got to have a plan, and you got to stick to the plan. And that is financing 101. If you come up with a plan and stick to the plan, odds are pretty good you're not going to have financial problems. I know that's a big if, because that's where life happens.
Yeah.
That's where you're like, oh, we're going to stick to the budget. We've got $50 set for our fund money for the week or whatever it is. And whatever your budget you created, the problem is what happens is, oh, we just spent our $50, but there's a new movie out. Let's go. And then that's where the budget, you got to be disciplined there. And I mean, yeah, you can fall off every once in a while. It happens, it's just like dieting. Every once in a while, someone waves an ice cream in front of you, like, dang, I gotta eat that ice cream.
You just have to get used to it.
Sure.
Let me tell you
But you got to stay on the budget.
I hear it all the time. I got customers that I tell them, since we start the process, don't do anything, no new financing.
Mm-hmm.
If any financing changes, you need to let me know right away.
Right.
Save money as much as possible until we're done. And he said, but they always ask me, how much do we need? Like, what we need is not what we need. I need you to have more.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, because the day that we close, I want you to have more money in the bank. I don't want you to buy a house and you don't have a penny in the bank after you buy the house. You broke, literally. Mm-hmm. Okay, and you actually literally move into a home. Mm-hmm. Brand new home, old home, it doesn't matter. When you move into it, things happen.
Yeah.
So you need to kind of plan accordingly. In that way, you're in a better place the day after you sign papers. I don't want you to be broke.
Sure.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Well,
and for a lender to even think that way, to allow that to happen. Now, it happens once in a while that they don't have no money in the bank. But I still advise them that they should have more money.
Well, what that indicates probably to the customer is that person's caring about the sale and the money, not so much the aftercare of that sale. Because yeah, they got you in the house, but now you sit in a
What
big
happened?
empty house on lawn chairs and eating
No
hot
money, no
dogs because you got
nothing.
no money.
You know,
And it's funny you mention that. I can't remember. Someone was talking to me yesterday, and they were talking about, I think it was Florida. Like they lived in somewhere in Florida.
okay.
Some very affluent neighborhoods and stuff that were going on. And what was going on was there's a lot of these houses, people were buying them, but then you look inside and there's literally a lawn chair in it because they couldn't afford any furniture.
And that's
or
kind of
nothing.
bad. I
And a
mean-
lot of people bought these very expensive, probably $1 million homes or more, depending on that market. And
they don't have no money to,
Exactly.
to furnish it.
so, yeah, you got a big home,
Yeah,
but now what?
that's not a good thing. I talk to my customers all the time. It's like, I always tell them, I need you. This is how much you need, but I need you to have more. I need you to save. I need you to have reserves. There's a reason for this.
Yeah.
Okay. And let's be realistic. If you go in any manual and you start doing some research, okay, even if when you take your first time home buying classes and stuff like that, it tells you should have 6 months reserves. Now, let's be realistic. A lot of people have it a little harder, to have 6 months reserves. If your mortgage payment is $800, now you need
That's a lot of money.
That's a lot of money.
Yeah.
You need about $4,800 of whatever in the bank.
In a perfect world, that's what happens.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But let me tell you something. A lot of the customers that I have, I tell them save until we close and this and that and have more money. And then after you learn how to do that, okay. Remember, it takes 28 days to learn a new habit. Okay. The reality still stands.
Yeah.
We all have the power and the mind to do so. Okay. And if you follow my directions, you'll be better off later on as well.
Yeah,
Okay. Because I don't want you to buy a house and lose a house in 6 months or a year. That's just crazy.
You're
okay?
giving them a financial plan that they can follow
Exactly.
the rest of their lives.
And guess what? I got customers that tell me, Eliot, we're closing. And when they close, they still have money in the bank. And they tell me, I listened to what you tell me, and it wasn't that hard.
Sure.
I'm like, and I love to hear that. Okay.
Sure.
Yes, it's something new. And let's be realistic. Us Americans, okay, we are a little spoiled. Let's be
Absolutely.
realistic.
Yeah.
We get
We want
the
our
power.
bells and whistles.
Oh,
we want our gadgets. We want our
cell phones. We got the power to go and buy anything we want.
We want the latest trend in whatever out
exactly.
there. Yeah.
So we are so used to doing that. So a lot of people tend to spend too much money.
Sure.
You tell me all the time when we talk about this, like maybe you shouldn't have bought that, that expensive phone and this and that, and maybe waited.
Yeah.
Okay. And then maybe do those things later.
Those are the smart decisions that really, when you think about it, and what it's know your risk. It's not a bad thing to splurge sometimes, but the only difference is you got to know the impact of what that splurge is going to do. You can do it if you've prepared and weathered it better to say, okay, we can afford this. All right, we're going to have to cut back here for this week. But if you're willing to do that, we're going to do that. The thing is, if you're not making a plan to address what your splurge is messing up your budget, then that's where you get in trouble.
Well, a good example is when people buy homes. Sometimes they want to get the 10, 15-year, mortgages. Obviously, your payment's going to be higher because you qualify. That saying, because you can do it, doesn't mean you should. Okay?
Exactly.
The facts still stand that at the end of the day, we are humans. We can get sick. We can get laid off. All right? Many reasons can take place that, hey,
Nothing's
maybe now you
guaranteed.
can afford this.
Yeah.
I always advise my customers, you can buy a home, 30-year term, payments is lower. Yeah, obviously there's interest rate that is, that is, it's going to compound in the interest that you pay for 30 years. But let's be realistic. The facts still stand. Because you have a 30-year mortgage doesn't mean you pay it in 30 years. Okay? I mean, I never thought I bought a house and I buy it in 5, 7, and pay it off in 10 years or less. And I've done this a bunch of times already. So the fact still stands that you can do it if you put. How many people buy vehicles that they're paying $800,000 a month?
Yeah.
I mean, come on. I mean,
you're not really getting any of that back.
Exactly.
In a home, you are. You're getting the equity
That's my
back into it. Yeah.
I have a good example. And we talked about this. I have to tell people, hey, do this, that, and then we can get you the house you want. And if you want to buy something else later and you still can afford it, but because the fact is still stands.
Yeah.
What you can afford in paper is not truly what you can afford.
Right.
Okay? Because you and I know a lot of people, but
you don't have 200 grand sitting in a bank for a house.
I know, but they always tell me, but I made more money than that. I got money to do this. Like, but the way you pay your bills and the way you do this, it doesn't show that. So listen to me. I get you your house, and you still go back to the same way you were if you want to. But here's the plan. This is what you do. I got a guy that had over 1,100 and some change payment on the truck. I'm like, oh, Jesus Christ, have mercy.
Saw you coming.
I know. I'm like, so at first I tell you know what? Why do you have such a big payment? I see the balance. It's not that huge, blah, blah, blah. Oh, I did a short time payment. I'm like, that's okay. All right. So this was a little different.
Yeah.
And then he has a whole bunch of other payments. I advise him, go and refinance this thing. You could still pay $1,000 a month if you want to for it. That's up to you.
Well,
and pay it off real fast. Guess what? At first, he didn't like the idea. And I think I told you about another one with the motorcycle before. And he didn't like the idea too much. But then guess what? I got a call like 2 weeks afterwards or whatever. He listened to me. Okay. And now he's looking at the houses that he really wants.
Good.
He refinanced. He actually went the extra mile, which I was not expecting. Dealerships are buying vehicles back.
Oh yeah.
And you know what he did?
He turned around and got bigger.
Turned it back. He got paid back. It's like I didn't need that vehicle. I'm like, whoa, hold on a second here. What
and he
happened
probably got
he started
almost
thinking,
his money back probably
yeah,
on some of that.
He didn't lose anything. It's like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
And he told me, yeah, you know
he
what?
got lucky there because that's
because it's
unique time.
It's the way we are right now.
Yeah.
My idea was just refinance the loan and lower the payment. That's all.
Sure.
If you want to pay $1,000 a month still, that's your call.
Well, and generally speaking, with car loans and things, and I know we're talking home loans, but when you make and people will intentionally get the lower things to get the bigger
vehicles and everything.
all that. But if your intent's to pay it off early, I mean, it doesn't really matter whether you get the 7-year or 2-year or whatever. If you're paying it off early, you're not on the hook for a bigger if things don't work out your way.
That's my whole point.
Yeah.
Well, we need to look as consumers.
Yeah.
Okay. And this is an advice from me to you. I've done this for 3 years. Okay. I don't have car payments and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And I just went and got car loans just the same as all of you. Okay. The point is this. I knew what I can afford. I can afford higher if I wanted to, but I knew I can afford this without no problem, no stress. I pay more, pay super fast.
Sure.
Same thing you could do with a home.
Yeah.
Okay. A lot of people are like, oh, the mortgage people just want us to get a 30-year loan. No, we don't. Okay. Yeah. Believe it or not, we make a profit on the interest, but we want you to buy houses and we want you to pay them.
Sure.
We're not in a, you know what, monopoly, and the bank is the one that keeps everything. We're really not in the business to acquire homes, trust me. Because the homes that we acquire on a repo, on a foreclosure or something like that, we do not want that.
Sure.
Okay.
Because you're probably losing money every time you sell those houses. We lose money every time.
Yeah, because the reality is we're not in the acquisition business to keep the business. If that was the case, we were really buying houses and just renting them out.
Just call you Century 21 or something.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah, right.
But the facts still stand. If you do the right thing for yourself, anybody can pay a home in 7-10 years, maybe even sooner, depending on the amount of the loan. Okay?
Sure.
If people buy cars and they do loans for 3 and 5 years and they're paying $800, $1,000 and plus sometimes, and they pay those, okay, why can you do that for a home?
Sure.
So what we spoke before is about your priorities. You just have to change your priorities to what is more important. The reality still stands. You need a place to live, and you could buy a vehicle, any kind of vehicles. There's so many to choose from, but there's only so many houses.
Right.
So what is more important? The home that you're going to do for your home, for your family, or a vehicle that which you can always buy another one later.
Sure.
You know what I mean?
And let's face it, unless you buy some kind of weird, rare luxury car,
exactly,
you are not getting you're losing money on a vehicle purchase.
Every single time.
You will never get your money back. Whereas real estate, if you did your homework, you're going to get back and make money every time.
Exactly.
Every time. Now, there's always exceptions to rules, but that's because you did some very poor purchasing decisions when you bought the house, and you got yourself upside down before you even got your foot in the door. And those instances happen because they didn't have a guy like Eliot here to guide them when they were doing it. But if you do it the right way, or at least the average way,
that's a good point. Yeah.
You're going to make money on that investment. That is an investment. That's the difference.
And there's rules in place. I mean, let's be realistic. Now the question is, do you have somebody that's going to guide you the proper way? I believe I'm I'm the exception of the cases out there. I'm
Sure.
not saying a lot of my peer, or should I say competitors, don't have a good heart or doing a good job, because I cannot speak for everybody, but I can speak for myself.
Sure.
Okay. I'm going to go and take care of you. I'm going to make sure you're not buying a house that you're going to be in trouble. Okay. Plus, I'm not allowed anyway. So
There's that.
yeah, there's that in there too, So, but I believe everybody deserves.
Yeah.
And I go the extra mile. I go the 12 rounds. Okay. I go fight all the way through for a customer to make sure they get their house.
To me, that's your stake in the country.
Exactly.
I mean, yes, it's not like back in the colonial times that you didn't get to vote unless you're a landowner and all this. But your stake in this country, in this being a part of it, is that really that thing you own in your house? You're owning your property, your family's dwelling. That is your stake in the world, and it's the investment. That's where you hub every excess that you want. The rest of your life is starting right there.
Yesterday, I had a guy come to my house. We want to take care of some trees and cut some stuff off. If that was not my house, I cannot do that.
Right.
Like you and I were talking a minute ago.
Sure.
If you want to turn that wall down.
And not all landlords are meticulous about maintaining their properties.
That is
like
very
others.
true. But the point is this, that you can do what you want to do to the home that you have.
Sure.
It's very important. Okay.
Absolutely.
And that feeling that the house is yours. Okay. Yeah, you have a mortgage, but it's still yours.
Absolutely.
Okay. It's up to you. The mortgage company doesn't go around trying to make sure that you painted it, a nice bright color.
Sure.
If you want to paint it purple, whatever you want to, after the day you have it, you could knock yourself out.
Yeah.
So the thing is this.
It's yours.
If you want to buy a home, like we've been talking about for the past years here, okay, is that today is the time to do so. Now, let's go farther. We got COVID-19 going. We went bananas on all of us. The government went crazy. They're still going crazy.
Yeah.
But the facts still stand. The market is solid for buying homes. Yeah, the prices of homes are going up. Yeah, but you still have the choice to choose which house you want.
Sure.
Okay. So it's a matter of looking and finding the right property. And they come out.
And
they come and go. That's just the reality.
And there's still a ton of programs out there. Like if you're a first-time home buyer, there's lots of opportunities. If you're a veteran, oh my goodness, VA's a world. But if you're even like a teacher or a lot of specialized industries,
I got a lot of programs,
special programs and things that are just for that. And that's where Eliot can guide you and direct you and all.
I got an agent call me yesterday. What programs do you have? I got a dentist, and like. Okay, doctor. Yeah, tell him to call me, please. No, let's be realistic, guys.
Yeah.
There's programs out there for everybody.
Yeah.
Okay, and I believe we just have to find the right box to the individual that's calling.
Yeah.
And that's my job. I'm gonna find out which box do you fit.
Sure.
And sometimes all you have to do is empty that box, push it back in there, and what it didn't fit in there, take it out.
Yeah.
Okay. And if you follow my lead, I'm gonna make sure that you get a house.
Yeah.
I got a deal that I'm about to close pretty soon that I swear I think I was being tested. Okay? Because everything that can go wrong went wrong. They didn't listen to me from the beginning, and they did. Some people are going to do what they're going to do. But I don't lose my coolness. I don't lose my patience.
Sure.
Some
people just don't beat to other people's drums.
Inside myself, I did lose my patience.
Right.
But the point still
stands.
Inside,
you're like ready to rack some upside their head.
Oh, my God. But in the end of the day, my job is to deliver. My job is to deliver that customer service and make sure they get their home.
Yeah, because at the end of the day, this is their
thing.
This is their thing, and they got to be happy with it.
And as much as I want to strangle somebody, I still have to adjust and move forward. What is that? Just and what's the word I'm looking for?
Jeep, just enough information to pass.
Yeah, just like Alejandra told me, you make magic and this and that, and you guys do. And in my process system is like, whoa, but there's rules. I only can't go.
Sure.
I only go so far.
Sure.
But it comes down to the point of like figuring it out.
Right.
Okay. Every situation, Tay even told me that yesterday. I don't even know how you get some of these things done. So like, well, I just get blessed, and I guess people know that I'm going to do everything they can to, so they come to me. So the point is this: I'm here to help everybody.
Absolutely.
Okay. And I love, and I wanted to help everybody that actually wants to buy a house for real, that they're really ready to buy a house.
Absolutely.
Okay? They do what I asked them to do. CMG is going to back them up and help them get their home they want.
Absolutely. You get the best of both worlds.
Exactly. So, and that's the fact. We will take care of you and make sure that it happens.
Eliot's a phone call away all the time. You don't have to go through a gauntlet of robotics or
It's true.
codes or enter your firstborn kid's last name or whatever other weird questions they ask you to get through to find out a Jew.
I kind of do that a little. Though.
It don't sound like you. Hey, what'd you have for lunch yesterday?
Well, I don't go that far.
You and I had lunch. What'd you have? But he's right there. But when it's time to bring in the big guns that can get the big good rates and good programs and things, he's got the CMG backing behind him.
Exactly.
So, now, I just saw the time, so probably should give out the numbers here. If you're interested or if you're maybe you're listening to this conversation, maybe I can't afford a house, man. Let's sit down and talk with Eliot. You ready to do that? Or you're like, all right, I'm in the maybe you're shopping around and you're like, I've been talking here and this, but they've been promising me this. What do you got on your end? Can you do me better or do me a better situation? Let Eliot do the Pepsi challenge here and take a try and see what we can do here. Give him a call. You can call him direct. Again, because the world we live in, he's going to be more on the road and mobile here right now. So probably your cell phone's probably your best way to get a hold of Eliot right now, which you can call him direct at 719-237-4680. Again, that's 719-237-4680. Of course, if you know him by his office number, 575-208-2356. It'll roll over if they're not at the office at the time. But they kind of, policies and things are back to
They're going back
social
and forth.
distancing and all that world again. So just be aware. And then, of course, you can always go an email or go or check out his website. It's kind of almost the same thing. Just swap out you can email Eliot at erodriguez at cmgfi.com. If you want to check out his website, learn all about what Eliot's doing and what he can do for you, go to erodriguez.cmgfi.com, and that'll go to the website.
Correct.
So add an @ if you want to email him, add a dot if you just want to see him, and if you just want to see him and then email him, there's probably a link at the website to email him. So go see him and then email him.
But you know what? And you guys can go in there and take a look about what is CMG all about.
Yeah,
and
absolutely.
see some of the stuff, and you'll be surprised. It's a great company, That's why we're still there working, So Ted and I are constantly nonstop every week, and that's just the way we do.
They're gonna go the extra mile to make sure that if you're coming to them and wanting to go and to get a home and get into a home, they will make sure everything within their power is available to you to make that happen. So
that's right.
Awesome. Well, thank you, sir.
Yes, sir.
We'll let you go make your 37 phone calls and stomp out your fires and reassure a bunch of people and all the things you got to do this morning.
It never ends.
Tell them don't make that purchase yet, and dang it, stop doing that, and all this other stuff.
Thank you for having me.
Anytime. We'll see you. Have a good. Oh, by the way, I forget. What's your football team? I know you. I can't remember. We have asked her, but I forgot.
I like the Broncos.
You're a Broncos fan. That's right. I'm happy. My Washington football team finally won last night.
Is that right? I know the Broncos won the other day too. So I'm not following the games though as much.
Well, all I know is our kicker. He better be in church this morning because he's got a lot of praying to do. That man got lucky. He should be fired this morning, but he's going to be all right.
He got lucky.
God was looking out for him last night. That's all I'm saying.
That's why I say about these customers. I just say the God of lawns love these kids because they've done everything in the world, but I got them taken care of.
Yeah.
If you're looking for somebody that actually truly cares and want to make sure that you get that home, I'm your man.
That's right. He's not lucky. He's good.
Just do my best.
That's right. Thanks, Ellie. We'll see you next time.
You're welcome.
All right.